creamy decadence of double cream bliss from Clover. Yogurt has never been so irresistible.
Made with love by Clover.
Now that we know how to separate our chicken, we know the different ways of preparing the chicken, let's put the knowledge to the test. Now you know how much I love my chicken drumsticks, and I love them even better when they're hot, hot, hot. So get ready as we're about to bring some drumsticks dripping with peri-peri sauce made with Clover Bliss double cream yogurt. Now Tumi, let me in on this. I can see you already started chopping away. It's about that peri-peri heat.
Yes, Palesa, and there's nothing better to cool down that heat than a beautiful, creamy, thick bliss yogurt, Clover Bliss yogurt, and that's exactly what we're going to put into this dish. But I'm getting started because we're serving this with a beautiful garlic bread. So all I need for that is our parsley, some butter, some thyme. I've got some salt and a bit of garlic that's going into that. I feel, for me, like garlic bread is not garlic bread without garlic. So I've got a whole lot of garlic going in there.
I want to see that. It will
actually be garlic bread if it didn't have any garlic.
It wouldn't be. And then, Chef, you're getting the peri-peri chicken part for us, and Bale will be grating up some tomatoes for you.
Yes. Oh, yeah, fantastic. So all I've done is I'm just starting in the pan here. I've got some diced onions. Let's get some more heat on the go here. But what I have started to do is I want to get a little bit of chicken, a little colour on my drumsticks.
Yeah.
So we got these in the pan, a little bit of salt and pepper on those, and now we're just getting a nice bit of colour so that when they go into the sauce, they also, a little bit of spice and crispness from the skin, so they don't look all pale and anemic.
Yeah.
Right. I've got some onions in here, a little bit of colour on those, they're looking lekker. And I've just got some chilies that are going to go in here. I've got some ground cardamom and some peri-peri. I'm just going to cut these chilies off. You can, if you really don't want it too hot, take the seeds out. I like the seed. That's where the action is, as far as I'm concerned.
I'm telling you, Pete, you throw that in there. Do not. What I love about it is that it's okay for us to add as much heat that we want within this recipe, because we're going to be almost balancing out the flavors. That's how I like to think about it. Yeah. Balancing out that peri-peri flavor with our delicious Clover Bliss double cream plain yogurt. Tumi, you've got it in the plain flavor, ne?
Correct, Balis. I've got it in the plain flavor and in the 1 kg pack.
Oh, and on my side, I've got a bit of a sweet treat here. Yes, they do come in different sizes. So the 500 gram, I've got it here in the strawberries and cream flavor, but my incredible, most favorite snackable size is the 175 gram. I've got it here in Black Forest flavor, and I just love to snack on this on the go, but today we're going to be using it in our recipe. So it's going to balance out that chilliness.
Perfect. Perfect. I'll add the fattiness to it as well. It really does add nice acidity to the tomato sauce as well. So my onions are on the go. I'm going to throw my little peri-peri in there and my ground cardamom. I just want to fry the spices off a little bit more before we add the tomatoes, and then let this cook down. And by then our chicken will be nice bit of colour on it. Yeah. We'll pop the chicken, the drumsticks, into the sauce and let them. Not only will they cook, but they'll also impart a nice flavour, nice richness to the sauce itself.
Brilliant. Tumi, on your section, how is it going there?
It's going okay, Palesa. I'm actually just chopping up some of our parsley in here, because that's also going to go into the butter that we're making, sort of like a compound butter.
Okay. Chef, I think your tomatoes are pretty done. We've decided to go with grating the tomato here. Is that going to help with creating that paste, that flavour? Why specifically grated?
It cooks down much quicker. What you find is the skin breaks up as well by grating it, and so I'm just going to pour this in, and it'll just start to cook down nicely. Oh, there we go. Check it out.
I love that.
And it's quicker than chopping it.
It is.
Well, I mean, a lot of people do say that, but sometimes I just love the skin. I love to interact with my tomato in my mouth. Tumi, when it comes to this recipe, top tips. You know, I'm always about a top tip girl, because I've always been the type of cook that just throws everything into a pot and hope for the best. But I want to really learn how to keep the integrity of a dish. Chef is judging me. Okay, so let's fix that.
I think Chef has actually nailed it, because he mentioned about this type of dish, that what kind of meat works best. In this instance, because of the type of dish we're making, using the thighs works definitely. The thighs and the drumstick works perfectly in that. So maybe it's all about pairing the right type of dish with the right cut of meat, depending on how long you're going to cook the dish for.
Yeah, definitely, because if we want this to cook down so it's nice and thick and luscious, and if we put breast into this, by the time that it cooked down, the breast would have been a little bit on the dry side. So the drumsticks are perfect. I've also got a little bit of chutney here, some fruit chutney, which I'm going to put into here. And that's just going to add a little bit of sweetness. The tomatoes often need it. Even when they've been grated, the acidity of tomatoes, you sometimes need a little bit of sweetness just to balance out those tomatoes.
Beautiful.
And since we're talking about balancing, I might as well balance my side as well and add some of this beautiful, decadent, creamy and thick Clover Bliss plain yogurt balasa. You know, like, we've been making curries the last couple of weeks now, and people have been listening to the fact that we're saying it helps with balancing the flavor.
Yeah.
But even with this type of recipe, because of the spiciness and the heat that we're adding there, it helps with that, bringing it down a bit, and also thickening up with the sauce as well.
And also, there's always that nice, sharp, that acidity from you know, as opposed to just regular cream. You get a nice little added kick from the flavour of the yogurt as well.
I did not think about that, and also what I love about it is not only is it helping with the creaminess, the decadence, and the thickness, but also Bliss is a source of 10 vitamins. It's kosher and halal, so basically it doesn't matter the dietary requirements you might have in your household. This is certainly going to deliver. Now, Tumi, as you are just putting together that garlic bread. Now, garlic bread doesn't need a lot of time in the oven, right?
Not at all. Not at all, Palisa. All we're trying to do here, as you can see with some that I've made a little earlier, you just want it to be nice and crisp so that when we dunk it into that sauce, it basically holds, yes, that's exactly what we want. That reaction, chef, is what we're aiming for. So that's all I'm doing here. We're going to melt it in the oven for about 5 to 10 minutes just to get it nice and crisp, and that's it.
Okay. Chef, on your side, how long would you just eyeball it for it to be done?
I reckon maybe 10 to 15 minutes tops. And while the chicken will cook in the sauce, all that lovely chicken flavour will leach out, make the sauce even more tasty, and it'll also start to thicken up. Because of the grating, we'll cook the water off quite quickly. It'll reduce down, and we'll have this thick, luscious, fiery peri-peri sauce, which hopefully you will love.
I can assure you. Now, to get your hands on this recipe, because you're going to love it too, just head over to afternoonexpress.co.za. Now, from drumsticks to the whole shebang. Coming up, we're going to go all in with a stuffed whole roast chicken with honey mustard glaze recipe.